and welcome back to Am's Untitled Podcast. I'm Am. Hi, if you've never met me before, it's really nice to meet you. I'm Am. Welcome to my Percy Jackson dedicated podcast. In today's episode, we are going to be doing part 3 of Chalice of the Gods. So I believe it's chapters 15 to 21 from what I can remember off the top of my head. Yeah. So if you haven't heard the first two parts where I sort of analyze and talk you through what happens in the first two parts of the book, highly recommend going to check that out first. But if you've already done that, then feel free to listen. I just actually apologize for how down on energy I sounded in the last episode. I was actually really not well, but I was trying to record these in advance because I've got a very busy 2 weeks coming up. And in between, of course, rereading Heroes of Olympus and taking the notes for that, I've got stuff going on in my own personal life. I'm going to London again this weekend, so I'm very all over the place. So I'm sorry if the energy levels were terrible in the last episode. I'm really sorry about that. I did do my best, like as best as I could. Thankfully, I've finished all my medication now, and I'm feeling a little bit better. So I just wanted to just put that little disclaimer there first. But yeah, let's get on with it. Chalice of the Gods, part 3. Let's do it. I think we're nearly halfway through the book. Um, Let me just check because I've got 5 parts to this, so I'm just wondering. Yeah, till chapter 35. So yeah, we're just under halfway through, but by the time we finish this part, it will be over halfway through, which is great. So chapter 15 is Yonkers. So the chapter opens up with Percy going back to see Eudora, and he tells her about this quest. And Eudora sort of tells him that you could have asked Hebe and Iris for a recommendation letter as well. Um, instead of having to do like another 2 quests, he could have got it over and done in one go. But I guess that was useful information that she so conveniently left out the first time. I'm sure he's definitely not mad about that. I totally am not mad about that at all. And he asks her about the River Ellison, and she sort of gives him. I don't really think she gives him much to go off with, and she wishes him luck and flushes him again, and he ends up in Yonkers, which is supposedly where the River Ellison is. So basically, she sent him to the place where he's going to find the river, but giving him no other help whatsoever. And, Percy sees Electro walking around there. Oh, fabulous. Yeah, she making an appearance after God knows how many books. Does this girl reform? Like, honestly, I'm just I've been reading Heroes of Olympus, and the amount of people, the amount of monsters that have reformed that Percy has fought, especially in the first 5 books, I'm just like, wow, really doesn't give my baby a break, does he? He's constantly throwing people at him that he already knows. And, Percy says that, okay, it's all great that she sent me to Yonkers, but he didn't have the staff on him, so he couldn't go and wash it. So he says that he would have had to come back anyway. And he finds the nearest train station and heads home. And that's where the chapter sort of finishes off. So, chapter 16 is Grover bursts out snake songs. So, Percy comes back to Yonkers with Annabeth and Grover, and there's just a little Beth moment that I wanted to put in there. I know I already had a full episode dedicated to this, but I just have to mention these 2 moments again. And the quote is, "I loved making her smile when she was trying not to. It always felt like a victory." You know what? One thing that I admire about Percy, and is something I'm going to continue saying until you guys get sick of me saying it, is he is such a green flag. I have never met any other fictional male character boyfriend like Percy. He always makes an effort. He's always wanting to make his girl feel better, and he's always trying to make her laugh, even though he knows that she's trying not to, but he still just wants to see her smile, and that's like the best thing for him. And I just absolutely adore him for that. Like, I always say, like, there's that phrase, oh, men written by women are the best, but actually, men written by Rick Riordan, specifically Percy, are just chef's kiss, like top class gentlemen, and I adore Percy for that. And then the next thing that he does is really cute, which is where he graffitis AC and PJ on a tree, or was it on a wall? I can't remember. And he's just so cute. Like, how can anybody not love him? Like, over the years, like I revealed to you guys I had a massive crush on Percy back when I first started reading the books. And like now I look back and I'm like, wow, younger Am really knew what a good man is. Like, maybe that's why my standards are just ridiculously high. Like, I blame Rick for creating a character like Percy and then expecting these normal men in real life to be up to his standard, because nobody can reach his level. I think he's just absolutely amazing and I love him so much. And that crush is still there. I feel like it's still there. Like, over the years, I thought that it would die down, but he's literally the only male fictional character that I've had a massive crush on that's never disappeared. So thanks, Rick, for that, I guess. Um, they end up at the River Ellison, and Grover tells them to head up to the cliff while he keeps watch for any potential threats, basically. So Percy and Annabeth make their way to the waterfall at the top of the cliff, and Annabeth tells him that he needs to dive into the river with the staff and basically clean it manually. And, Percy sort of says, like, how am I supposed to get back up? Like, you're saying to jump, which is completely fine, but how am I supposed to get back up again? And of course, Annabeth, the genius that she is and the girl boss that she is, one of the reasons I love her so much is she always has a plan, and she pulls out a rope. And, Percy is sort of trying to buy himself some time, trying to distract her, trying to talk to her. And my favorite part of her is the fact that she just pushes him. Slay, queen. She knows he's trying to buy himself some time. She ain't gonna give him time to waste. She's just gonna push him. You know what? It's something I would do. Maybe that is why I love Annabeth so much. She's so real and raw. I absolutely love her. She's amazing. And that's where the chapter ends, with Percy obviously falling into the river. Chapter 17 is I Meet the Man Bun of Sorry. And one thing I really missed when I was reading Heroes of Olympus, already going on a tangent, but I really missed those really clever chapter titles. Like, the first five books, like, they have some of the most iconic chapter titles I've ever read. And, like, I really missed those in Heroes of Olympus. And now that they're back, they just make me laugh. Like, every single time, no matter how many times I read the books, the titles always crack me up. And I think that's just down to Rick. He's just got the most incredible sense of humor. It's honestly amazing. So there's a Percabeth moment at the beginning, and the quote just cracked me up as well, which is, "Find someone who loves you the way my girlfriend pushes me off a cliff without hesitation." Oh, they're too cute, guys. I love their backwards and forwards relationship. Said that's why people like resonate with them, because they're grounded. They go through the same things normal couples do, and there's nothing over dramatic about them. Yes, they're based in a fictional world where these things like monsters and being attacked and being children of gods and goddesses. Okay, yeah, that's not real. Yeah, but their fights and the tension and their genuine relationship is very real and something everybody can relate to, and I think that's why I love them so much. I just don't. I think they're one of those like couples where I'm already going on a Perspeth tangent here. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? There's nothing unrealistic about it, and I think I've said that a few times. But yeah, I really appreciate them about that. So Percy plunges into the river, and he meets Elisson, who is the river god, I believe. And Ellison is pretty pissed off with him because Percy broke the pool rules. He gonna know the pool rules? He's never been there before. I think it's because Percy had his shoes on and he plunged into the river. I'm pretty sure. I should have written these down in more detail. Like, it's really not jogging my memory. Maybe it's because I took these notes. Like, let's have a look when these notes were officially taken. Because I've been reading so much lately. I'm like, 31st of the 8th, 2024. No, it's gotta be longer than that. When? I don't believe that that was just under a month ago. I don't believe that. I feel like I took those notes ages ago. Let me see. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna check because I don't believe that for a second though. 31st of August. Oh no, it was created on the 6th of July. I did this back in July, guys. Cut me some slack, man. I've been a bit all over the place since July. I was like, yeah, I definitely didn't start reading it in August. It was definitely July. So I'm trying to remember because I haven't picked up the book since. Because, like I said, I'm taking the notes for Heroes of Olympus, and that's just taking me forever. But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Ellison. Yeah, so of course he's not very pleased with Percy. I don't think he likes him very much. And Percy says, I'll make it up to you, but Ellison just tries to drown him basically, and he gets stuck in the waves that are just attacking him. I don't know why I found that funny. It's not funny, but it's just ironic. Like, every single like river god, and I noticed this in Heroes of Olympus. Anybody who he meets that is like part of the ocean, like the ocean gods, they don't tend to like him very much, and they just end up drowning him, which I think is really funny. Sorry, guys, I shouldn't be laughing. Percy's my baby, I promise. I love him, but it's just certain things that Rick makes happen to him that just crack me up. Uh, Chapter 18 is Annabeth conquers all with herbal tea. Of course she does. She's a queen. We've gone past this that she's too good. And of course it opens up with Percy being tossed around in the water, and eventually he manages to control the water and calm it down, and he goes back to find Annabeth. And as he heads back up to the cliff, he sees Annabeth talking with Elisson about how Percy managed to clean the river. So basically, she's trying to earn him some brownie points. Take it and leave, Percy, is what I would say. And, Percy goes to grab Iris's staff, and Annabeth pours Ellison some herbal tea. And, all Ellison really wants is for Percy to put in a word with Poseidon for yoga classes. I know. Just just no, just stay with me. I promise there's a reason behind it. Stay with me. And Percy agrees and he says, I'll talk to my dad about it. He definitely, actually, he does keep his word, and I think that comes a bit later on. Maybe in part 5 we'll talk a bit more about that. And Annabeth tells him that she'll go and find Grover while Percy distracts the snakes that are coming to attack them. Basically, good times, good times. And Annabeth tells him to use Iris's staff basically to help him. So chapter 19 is I taste the rainbow and it's pretty nasty. Yeah, something about tasting a rainbow just doesn't sound appealing. At least not in my eyes. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think of that? Because that doesn't sound very appealing to me. So the chapter opens up with Percy making rainbows with the staff. Grover is playing YMCA on his reed pipes to tell Percy that him and Annabeth are both safe. Um, Percy's struggling to keep going, since, of course, like when demigods use their powers, they tend to get drained and they can't carry it on for much longer. So, of course, using the staff is using his energy as well, and he doesn't know how long he can really carry on. And bless him, he trips over a rock, and he waves the staff, and the snakes are coming towards him. And there's this one Perciveth quote that I just had to pull out, which is, I thought about all the plans Annabeth and I had made about college and beyond. I thought about all the things I wanted to tell her. I wished I could at least tell her how much I loved her. Oh my god. Oh my god. He's just perfection in a man. Like, where do we find men like that? Like, he's just honestly the most. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Wow. I just love that they've discussed a whole future together, guys. Like, they've thought about beyond college. So we're talking like them getting married and having children, which would make me so happy. One day, once Rick is officially done with Percy, obviously not anytime soon, I'm hoping he still keeps writing books. But when he eventually gets to the end, I want him to give me a glimpse into the Perciveth future. Like, I'd love to see them as parents, just being happy, enjoying life, safe away from all the monsters and whatever. But yeah, that quote was just, oh, beautiful, just beautiful. The staff lifts Percy up and he tells it to take him to Annabeth. Now, what made me laugh about that moment is he could have said, "Take me back to my friends," but he specifically said Annabeth. Yeah, the Perciveth shipper detective is coming out here, and I was just like, yeah, that's cute. That's a lovely, like, Perciveth moment. It's so small and it can be so easily overlooked, but let me tell you, my eyes are sharp when it comes to these Perciveth moments. It's a butterfly. Sorry, got distracted. There's a butterfly outside the window. It's so cute. Anyway, the next Perciveth moment came is when, of course, Percy is using Iris's staff and he starts flying towards Annabeth and Grover. And the quote is, "She's cute when she's startled. It doesn't happen often, but I have to enjoy it when it comes." I love that they don't fail to surprise each other. Like, even after everything that they've been through, like, they still can shock each other with the talents that they have. I love that. I think it's so amazing. And another thing I love about Percy is he does things like that are so unexpected. Like, sometimes it catches me off guard as well. I'm just like, whoa, like, where did that come from? But it's one of the things I love most about him, and one of the qualities I admire the most about him. Um, and of course, Percy tells her that he loves her, and she starts laughing. I mean, I read that in the book, I was like, I have to point out that one specific thing. And I think it makes me laugh because it's something that I would do. The guy is trying to be like really, what's the word, like honest and being like, oh, I love you, and she just starts laughing. Obviously he'd had a bit of a moment before where he thought something might happen and he might not see her again, and she tells him that she loves him too, of course, but it's just, it was one of those cute moments where I was just like, they're just so wholesome. Like, I don't understand how anybody could not love them or like want to just see them be endgame. I think they are endgame anyway. I don't think that there's anybody that have a relationship like they do. But yeah, I love that. I love that quote, and I just had to put it in there. And of course, my poor Grover, he's always the third wheel, and I always feel so bad. And he says, "Oh, don't worry, I'm fine too. Thanks for asking." Oh, I love him so much. But you know what? I have to say, I really missed him being a third wheel in Heroes of Olympus. Like, it's been really hard to read without Grover in it because I just love him so much. He's like literally like the heart and soul of the first few books. Like the way he's there for Percy and Annabeth, not only as their protector, but as a friend, as someone they can count on. And, it's really nice to see him back. And don't worry, Grover, if Percy doesn't care that you're fine, I care, and I'm happy to see you there. And they all head on a train back to Manhattan. And that's where the chapter comes to an end. Chapter 20 is Iris takes Venmo. So they go back to Iris to return the staff, and she says that she has an idea about who might have stolen the cup from Ganymede, and she tells them that the thief is in Greenwich Village. Um, yeah, this is all sounding a little bit sus, but okay. And Iris tells them that the thief will go by the name Gary. Gary. Sorry, it's really hard. I know that Rick like shortens the names of gods and goddesses and gives them different names, but like just Gary, like as a thief name, it just makes me laugh. I don't know. I'm sorry if your name's Gary and you're listening into this. I'm so sorry. I'm not taking the mic. It just feels weird when Rick uses names like that. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking before I upset somebody. Iris gives them, the nectar that will guide them to Gary. So basically, if they pour a drop of it, it will make like what you call it, a path for them to follow to find him. And, she says that she wants payment for, of course, the information that she's given them. And she asks for $5 in cash or Venmo. $5, really, for that information? I was expecting her to charge something else, and then when I read $5, I was a bit like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Okay." Of course, Percy checks in his jean pocket for any cash, and he doesn't have any. And Annabeth pulls out $5 bill, and she pays her, and Iris leaves. So chapter 21, I think has got to be one of my favorite chapter titles, but also one of my favorite chapters in the book. We're going to come to it. So it's, I offer relationship advice. No, seriously, why are you laughing? No, and honestly, I was laughing at first when I read the relationship advice bit, but I'm going to show you something. Um, I'm going to talk about something. So just stay with me for the time being. Don't laugh at the chapter title just yet. So of course, Grover is showing Percy his photos from his photo shoot with what was their name? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to check what the name is because I can't remember. As you can see, I did this a long time ago. My brain is a little bit all over the place, not gonna lie. What was the girl's name? Forgotten. What was her name? It's gonna annoy me now because I'm gonna be like, I can't remember. Just give me a second. Her name was Blanche, guys. Blanc? Blanket. Why can't I talk? This always happens. Like, I've noticed this. Like, I get certain way through the episode, and my voice just, I don't know, brain just goes dead as I'm talking. I guess I can never remember the words. So he had a photo shoot with Blanche, and Grover tells Percy that Juniper is angry with him. And Percy realizes that the reason why Juniper is angry is because Grover keeps talking about Blanche in her presence. See, that would piss me off too. Like, I get it. Like, she's talented and whatever, but there's no need to rub it in someone's face. And, Percy says that, Juniper's jealous. And, Grover says that she actually didn't want the picture. And, um, he was planning on giving it to Juniper as a gift, but she told him that he didn't. Why can I not talk? She told him she didn't want it, and Percy tells him, just apologize to her and ask her what she actually wants instead of assuming what she wants. And I think that's a great piece of advice. Like, surprisingly, like, considering Percy has had no experience of being in a relationship aside from his situationship with Rachel, and like, sorry, I don't mean to hate on Rachel, guys. I really love her, don't get me wrong, but they had a little bit of a situationship going on where the lines kind of got a bit confusing for Rachel. And of course, the only relationship, the proper relationship that he's ever had is with Annabeth. um I'm surprised that he's so knowledgeable about those sorts of things, and I'm really proud of him for it actually. He asked Grover, who do you think Gary might be? And Grover decides, I'm gonna go back to camp, basically. So I don't think any of them really know who Gary might possibly be. I don't think Grover knows really. And he tells Percy that she probably just wants quality time with me. Like, Juniper's hardly seen Grover, and maybe that's what's affecting their relationship. I'm so happy that Percy is good at giving relationship advice. Like, he's really, like, in just one piece of advice, like, he's helped Grover understand his entire situation. I think Annabeth's wisdom is rubbing off on him. I'm always going to credit my girl, guys. As much as I love Percy, I'm always going to give credit to my girl that he gets his brains from his girlfriend. That's what I'm going to say. And Grover says that he's worried about Percy and Annabeth leaving because, of course, they're planning to go to college, which means that Grover will be going back to camp by himself. And Percy reassures him that no matter what happens, like they'll always be friends. And it's really sad, and it like I think the way Grover's looking at this at the minute is like he's his last quest with his friends before they move on to like the next phase in their life. Because of course we forget that Grover is significantly older than Percy and Annabeth, and he was 24 when Percy and Annabeth met him for the first time. So you can't imagine how old he is now. And of course, like they're his two closest friends, and I think anybody would feel the way that he does, that he's gonna have to stay behind and watch them grow, basically. And I don't think he means it in like a pessimistic way, or like in a negative way to dampen their vibes. I think he's just genuinely concerned about losing them. And that's not the first time like Grover has ever said that to Percy. Like there's been times in the previous books where he's told Percy, like, my biggest fear is losing you. And it's such a and I think because they share that empathy link as well, I think it gives them a bond like no other. And oh my gosh, yeah. Before I get emotional and start crying, the books aren't over yet. We've still got another two to go. Um, and we'll see what Rick has in store for that. And Grover basically tells him that I'll see you on Monday. I'm gonna go back to camp. And that's where the chapter. Oh no, I was gonna say that's where the chapter ends, but it doesn't. Um, Percy goes back to his swimming class, and that's where the chapter ends. So, final thoughts. Oh my gosh, let's just round this all up. Percy and Beth are just cute. I don't understand how an already perfect couple can get even cuter than they already are. Like Rick just never fails to surprise me, and I think that is why he is. I'm gonna just make this statement right here, right now. He's my favorite author. Like honestly, I read so much of his books in the last year. I've been rereading a lot for this podcast. I've been planning so much, and you know what? I've never gotten bored. I've never wanted a book to just end because I'm sick of it. Like, I never get bored of his writing style. He never fails to catch me off surprise. I'll be honest with you guys, like, again, going on a tangent, I finished my reread of House of Hades for the podcast, which will be up in the next few months. And oh my God, like, yesterday, I could not stop crying when I got to the end of that book. I was in literal bits by the end of the book. And I think it's just because, like I said, like Heroes of Olympus is a lot darker, and I'll talk more about that when we get there. But it's such an emotional roller coaster, and I put this on my threads yesterday as well. And I don't cry like a lot in my normal life. Like I'll be very honest with you guys, that it takes a lot to work me up in real life. But for some reason, when I read Rick's work, because I know it's come from such a place of love, and it's come from such a place of someone who's genuinely passionate about what they're doing and bringing, not just the good moments in books, but the hard moments, like losing people, as part of is a part of life, unfortunately. And the way he teaches us these moral lessons in his writing, I don't think any other author can do it the way that he does it. So I have so much respect to Rick for that. And I'm so happy that this book was a bit more on the happy side. Like it was more of a fun vibe and an adventurous vibe again, and I love that. Like it's considering, I think it's the really nice like light at the end of the tunnel, because Heroes of Olympus is so dark. Like, it's so nice to have Chalice of the Gods as something to read afterwards because it really uplifts you again. Yeah, sorry, went on a bit of a tangent there, but Rick, if you're listening, I love you so much, and I'm so blessed to have found your books at such a young age. Genuinely, I'm not just saying that because it's on the podcast. Like, I genuinely do feel that way, and yeah, Rick honestly deserves all the love that he gets, and I hope that the magic of these books stays with generations to come. Like, I cannot wait to give this book to my children in the future and just be like, yeah, this is the magic I grew up with. I hope that you feel the same way, basically. Um, anyway, what was I saying? Let's go back. The other, like, you know, the other gods that Rick has created, like Iris, Hebe that we've met, Ganymede, like they're all so unique, and they've got like a very, what's the word, entertaining vibe to them as well. Like, you know, sometimes like the gods that we've met, like people like Ares, they're a bit of a wet blanket, but like Ganymede, like he's actually really adorable and he's really sweet, and I don't know who's set him up. Well, I do know, but I can't tell you guys right now who set this up for him. But like Rick just, he makes the gods seem so human. Like they're just like regular human beings, basically. That it's just, of course, that they're immortal. That is the only thing that's different. But yeah, like I said, a lot of Rick's characters are very, very grounded. Even like the so-called villains, they always have like a genuine motivator. Like with Luke, right? Of course, he felt neglected and abandoned by his father, and he put this entire army together, and he went to the dark side, and he made a mistake. But in the end, he realized what that mistake was, and he fixed it, and he saved everyone. But yeah, so even in the antagonist characters, you can see the groundedness behind them. Like that's what I've noticed, like with Percy, like even though like him and Luke, they don't really disagree. Sorry, we're going on a tangent. Um, they kind of see each other's point, but it's the difference between what makes you a hero and what makes you a villain. And I love that about Rick, is that the line is very thin in real life. Like, to think about it, someone can be a hero and someone can be a villain. There is a very thin line that separates the two. But yeah, the way Rick creates characters, there is no one that creates characters as good as he does. I'll give that to him right here, right now. Like I said, I'm so proud of Percy. That relationship advice that he gave Grover was honestly on point. I don't think I could have created a piece of advice as good as he did. So well done to him. Honestly, I'm really proud. And I think it shows that he's really matured. Like, we met him when the boy was like 12 years old. And now, obviously, he's been through the Great Prophecy when he was 16. I think he's going to be what, 17, 18 by now? Yeah, he's still younger than me. Can you believe it? Yeah, it makes me feel horrible. It makes me feel old. Tell you that. But yeah, he's really matured over the years, and I think I can tell he's learned a lot from the lessons that life has taught him, but also the situations that he's been in. And like, people mature like over time. Some people it takes a little bit longer than others, but eventually at one point everybody matures. And I see that growth and that change in Percy, and I think that that's amazing. And yeah, like I said, no one does it the way Rick does it. So there you go. And the last thing I'm sort of going to end this off with is that, you know, I always feel really bad for Percy because no matter what he's done, how many times he saves the world, he always gets put through the ringer. And I feel really, really bad because I'm like, he doesn't deserve that. But I guess the best of people are given the hardest tests. And I truly believe that. And I think that although his journey has not been easy, he always like carries on. He always wants to do the right thing. He always wants to take care of the people around him. And I think that there is nothing more admirable than that. And I think it's a good lesson that Rick has taught so many people. And you know, like people say, like your fatal flaw. So in, of course, Percy's case is personal loyalty. At least that's what Athena calls it. And you know, the fact that he would do anything to save a friend or someone he loves, yes, that's a weakness. A fatal flaw is a weakness, but that is also his greatest strength. And I think that's what Rick is trying to say, that maybe just because something seems like a weakness to other people doesn't mean that it's actually a weakness. Sometimes it can be your greatest strength as well. And I love that. So I've been talking for a long time and you guys are probably sick of listening to me. So I'm so sorry about the rambles in between. Actually, I'm not going to apologize for that. If you're listening to my podcast, you know that I ramble. So I'm not going to apologize for that. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the episode. we've got the last two parts left of Chalice of the Gods, and then comes Wrath of the Triple Goddess. I am so excited. I have been itching for months to get my hands on this book, and it's finally going to happen in what's the date today? This obviously won't go up on this date, but it's the 10th. It's the 10th of September today. So what? We've got 14 days, exactly 2 weeks to go till it comes, and I'm so excited. And I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. I'm hoping to be finished with Heroes of Olympus before then. I'm on a mission to finish it before, so I can dedicate all my time to reading Wrath of the Triple Goddess. But like I said, more information on that in episodes to come. So thank you guys so much for listening in. I really appreciate it. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Spotify. Those are the two places where you can find all episodes of the podcast. They go up pretty much at the same time. And I always let you guys know on Instagram and on Threads when they go up. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Threads. It's both at Aamsuntitledpodcast. Oh, I've just realised I've also changed my profile picture and stuff. So my whole profile art has completely changed. So I hope that you guys like that too. And I will be speaking to you guys very soon. Mwah. Bye.